Check me out. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to the Mile High Mentors podcast. Super excited to have you here. Really appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to go follow us on SoundCloud at Mile High Mentors, as well as Instagram. Give us some feedback there. Give us some comments, some likes, some shares. But really, feedback is what we're looking for, guys. Everything we do here, we are constantly trying to improve this show, make this thing better for you guys. And so we really do that based on feedback that we get from you, our awesome listeners. My name is Connor Doobie. I am your host each and every episode. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Denver Open Media. You can check them out at denveropenmedia.org. They are incredible organization here in Denver that allows us to create the content that we do using the space, the technology tools. They provide internships and training to really content providers and giving you all the resources that you really need. And it's not costly either. Like having a space there to be able to use their studios, it's super reasonable. It's definitely worth it. So be sure to check those guys out. They're at denveropenmedia.org. We are also brought to you by Active Blogs. Each and every episode, Active Blogs is a 17-year-old marketing agency, which was actually founded by a personal mentor of my own even. And they provide content marketing, custom written blogs, white papers, newsletters, case studies for technology companies and other really high dollar B2B companies. They've been doing that for a while and even recently just launched a personal branding and social selling program for folks within those same industries. So be sure to check Active Blogs out. They're at activeblogs.com. I don't think I need to say the www thing anymore, do I? Anyways, today's episode of the podcast, I'm super excited to introduce to you our guest. Her name is Karen. She is a 2017 Influential Businesswoman. She was named that by Acquisitions International. She is the CEO and co-founder of Makeena, a big data company which is focused on natural products, on the natural product industries. They're helping folks find natural products where there's food deserts and also here locally. You know, me personally, I am very much into the health and wellness stuff. I eat very healthy. I'm like a poster child for food allergies. So having her on the show is really incredible, and just getting to hear her story and her involvement with the natural food stores throughout her life. She's also sold off a previous company that provided a technology solution for natural grocery stores, and I'm very excited to see where this app and stuff she's working on. She's a major mentor. She's been a faculty on the faculty staff at CU Boulder and taught entrepreneurship there, business, which is really cool because she's an actual practitioner. She's not just someone who's there teaching or was there teaching. She was actually running and operating a business throughout that time. So very exciting stuff. Without further ado, please welcome Karen to the Mile High Mentors podcast. Go into it. We're live and everything like that, and I really appreciate you coming down to the studio to chat with us and be our mentor for today. So, Karen,
yes.
Could you give us a little bit of background on yourself? Walk us maybe through your childhood. Where are you from originally? And then also what had brought you out to Colorado, maybe even if you're from here originally.
Oh, well, so I'm from Champaign, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was professor at the University of Illinois, and he was professor in early childhood education. So I grew up learning how to learn is probably the best way to say it. And, I had a really good kind of stable, childhood in the sense that, the university was right there, lots of things to do and explore and learn. And Dad always had a variety of different objects in his office, everything from skeletons to, when we're creating circuitry with batteries and light bulbs and, buzzers and things like that, to chemistry experiments, to things in formaldehyde jars.
Ooh, and so he must have been like a biology teacher.
He was
or
a
something like
science education professor.
Science education
So
professor.
he
That's a
taught-
big umbrella. What was his kind of main focus?
Well, he got his degree in biology
Uh-huh.
From Harvard,
Yeah.
smart guy. And then his master's and his PhD in early childhood education.
Mm-hmm.
So he taught teachers how to teach all the different types of sciences. So astronomy, physics, biology, chemistry, computer science,
Mm-hmm.
because that's kind of where it fell in those old days. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. And I learned I learned mathematics, science, social studies, and English on the system called Plato back in the 60s and 70s. I'm that old. And I learned how to code when I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is Play-Doh?
Play-Doh was a touchscreen.
And not the Play-Doh
No.
Because I'm familiar with Play-Doh.
Yeah.
I spent plenty of time with Play-Doh.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, it was a touchscreen educational system.
Okay.
That was developed, I think, in the late 50s, maybe early 60s, where they started kind of a little bit before the World Wide Web, and what we consider to be the internet now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was it. I mean, the educational programs were designed for these Play-Doh systems to help educate kids.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was one of those early experiments.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then what was the next thing from there?
So went to undergrad at Indiana University, accounting and business, so great education. And after that, I went to work up in Chicago for a little bit for an offshoot of Arthur Andersen.
Yeah, Chi-Town.
In Chi-Town.
Great
It was
place.
really
Great
fun.
city.
It was a great city. I actually had some experience when I was in college. I worked for General Motors
Oh, wow.
for a couple of years as a co-op student.
Wow.
That was kind of my first real job because before that I was a lifeguard and swim instructor for years.
Nice.
My first job, though, I was a corn detailer.
Oh.
So very much Midwest, very much, cornfield kind of heaven in the Midwest. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I went up to work in Chicago after I graduated from undergrad.
Who got you connected into GE?
GM.
Or GM, I'm sorry.
GM.
Yeah.
So it was a program through Indiana University. It was a co-op program. And so students actually interviewed and applied and interviewed, and I got selected to work in the financial department.
Awesome.
So I got to get lots of different experience as a co-op student with accounts receivable, inventory, cost accounting, labor relations. I mean, just they rotated us.
Yeah.
So it was really great experience. I think I was the only one in the finance department. Most of the students that were co-op students were engineers.
Okay, interesting. So were you actually working with numbers and?
I was doing all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, really learning how an accounting department worked, how a finance department worked.
Uh-huh.
And then I went, as I said, graduated from undergrad, went to work for an offshoot of Arthur Andersen up in Chicago. I always knew that I wanted to go to law school. I had gotten a deferment. And so I went to law school after that. So 1 year, Chicago, saved enough money to kind of start, pay for everything.
Right.
In those days, it was a lot less expensive.
Well, law school is not expensive, right?
Now it's very expensive.
How much was it then?
I think it was $1,200 a semester.
Oh, wow. So what's that compared now? Law school's got to be like $20K a semester or something like that.
I don't think it's $20K. I think some schools it may be $20K. I think University of Colorado is probably, I don't know, maybe $40,000 a year. You may be right. It's really expensive.
Yeah.
But then my second and third year, I got full tuition waiver, stipend on top of that because I taught business law over at the University of Illinois.
Yeah.
So
and here as well. You taught school.
And I taught
in
here
Colorado.
as well at the University of Colorado. I taught in the entrepreneurship program.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what initially brought you to Colorado?
So my husband at the time had just finished up his PhD in philosophy of religion and metaphysics and science.
So of course you ended up in Boulder,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. But he did go to law school as well, and so when we were looking around for places to live, his sister was living in Louisville at the time, and she's like, "Oh, you guys would love Boulder," so that's what happened. We did. We fell in love with it. It's a great place to be.
And you're still there?
I'm still there, not married anymore with him. And it's been, 24 years. Moved there in 1993.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you go anywhere else?
I've thought about that, but what happens is when you come back from being away and you drive over at that viewpoint before the lookout point and you just go, I'm home. So, I don't know. I miss the water. Water would be nice, but, I kind of like the college town vibe. There's enough happening. Denver's close, which, of course, is really vibrant these days. Just booming here.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get around. So, to get to DIA and go anywhere you need to go in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, San Francisco or LA or New York or DC, super easy.
Yeah. Awesome. How did you, went to law school and then you taught before you practiced as a lawyer?
Yeah. So my second and third year of law school, I ended up being the head TA for the business law classes at the University of Illinois. And so, that was really not my first experience teaching. My first experience teaching is when I taught swim lessons.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I worked with little kids way back when. I started teaching swim lessons when I was like 13 or 14. And it was just super fun, just being able to kind of help them feel like they accomplished something. And so I kind of got that bug, but my dad was a professor too, right? So I come from kind of a family of teachers. I think his sister is a teacher, his dad was, or not his dad, but his brother is a teacher, and just kind of that teacher mentality. And then so I ended up in Boulder. I actually was recruited to teach at the University of Colorado right as I was coming to Colorado. So I was going to teach accounting and business law way back when, in 92, 93 time frame.
And you did that for how long?
I didn't.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I didn't. You never know what path you're going to take. So when I got to Colorado, I was working for a Denver law firm, and my former husband was clerking for a Colorado Supreme Court justice, and we got this entrepreneurial bug, I guess you could say. And so we used to go into these stores like Wild Oats, which is now Whole Foods, and Alfalfa's. It kind of dates back to the law school time, I guess you could say. I became a vegan when I was in law school. I was a vegan for 12 years, and there was a teeny little grocery store in Urbana, Illinois called Strawberry Fields, where you could go in and get really healthy products, organic, gluten-free, non-GMO.
And you're not vegan now?
I'm not vegan now.
Okay.
I would like to be, but I'm not. I try as much as I can. I'm mostly plant-based diet, but not 100%. And so anyway, so I was eating like that, and we came to, it was super easy to, I guess, maneuver those stores or get around those stores. And there's always somebody there to help you get around, right? And understand what's spelt and what do you do with it? Or what do you buy for homeopathic remedy?
Because you can't Google on, you couldn't have Googled on your cell phone.
There was no Google.
Right.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I think one of the Google founders came from, maybe it was Yahoo, came from the University of Illinois. I know Mark Andreessen came from the University of Illinois. He was one of the, he basically founded Netscape. And,
same time as you? Did you know?
I didn't know him. He was a little bit younger. I knew people that knew him.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in law school, or just finishing law school at the University of Illinois, I think that's when kind of the World Wide Web, DOS kind of version was popping up. And so we used to experiment with that. We used to play around with that. It was really cool. I thought it was super cool. Of course, with my dad being a professor, it was even more exciting. Because I knew what this really meant. So to fast forward, so we used to be able to get around those little teeny, health food stores, I guess they were called at the time, at that time. But when I moved to Boulder, they were huge, right? Nobody was there to help. You didn't know how to find your way around the store. So we had this, and I think it was me, but we had this aha moment where we decided to put touchscreen kiosk systems in these natural product stores. So we built the software, we developed the, kind of the look feel, went to...
And this was you and your husband at the time?
Yeah, me and my former husband, we were co-founders of this new company called Natural Interactions.
Okay.
And we pitched what we had to the founders of Wild Oats, and they loved it. So we signed a nationwide contract with them, and we started putting touchscreen kiosk systems in their stores.
Wow.
And we helped the consumer navigate the natural products environment. So it had 12 different modules, everything from aisle-by-aisle shopping lists to where, you can find all the ingredients for your recipes.
And what year was this?
94, 95 time frame.
Wow, so the whole touchscreen thing, that's super innovative.
It was, I think the touchscreens were
Was
around.
there a lot of them?
There weren't a lot of them. And
especially in that sort of
right
context in a grocery store.
Yes, there was. I think there was something going on with like a recipe touchscreen kiosk, and there was a supplement one. But we kind of put it all together. It was coupons and loyalty rewards and freebies and giving some of this space away to nonprofits, and you could pick up the phone and talk to a homeopathic doctor. You got a big printout of what all the ingredients were in a particular product, and you got this aisle-by-aisle shopping list. So we had 2 printers, we had this huge touchscreen in these systems, and video, audio, as I said, telephone. So we were pretty ahead of our time.
That's really cool.
It was super cool. It was.
So what came out of that venture?
Lots of good learnings. So we had another company that we started at the same time. It was called Interactive Properties, and it was a real estate-based kiosk, which is kind of way before, of course, Realtor.com or Zillow, which is big today, or...
Good old Zillow.
A good old Zillow, right? So we've been, we were way ahead of our time. So we pitched that concept to Nortel up in Toronto.
Okay.
And they agreed to phase 1 and phase 2 of our project.
This was an extension of the company you had already created?
No. So we started Interactive Properties and Natural Interactions at the same time.
Yeah.
You just can't do both, right?
Yeah.
So we basically kind of gave that to Nortel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you sold the companies to...
We didn't sell the company. They just basically, we kind of let it go.
Really?
Right? Well, I mean, when you're faced with what you're super passionate about, but what was also a good idea, we went with what our passion was. And our passion was around, helping the consumer navigate the natural products industry and the retail store. So that's what we did.
Why was that a passion of yours?
Everything from, being vegan, like we were at the time, to really thinking that if you put better things on your body or you ate better things, you'd be a healthier person. And eventually, of course, hopefully happier, right? And that there'd be less pollution in the world if you bought products that, were produced or manufactured, with the earth in mind, recycled, sustainable, fair trade. So we felt like we were making a difference. And with real estate, places for people to live, right? A great marketplace. But we didn't feel like we were really, helping people make better choices for themselves.
And so why real estate? That's a really interesting transition from the Whole Foods to real estate.
And it was real estate before kind of a Whole Foodsy kind of thing. And it wasn't Whole Foods, but
I'm just saying Whole Food, natural groceries, and stuff like
healthy, organic, natural, organic. Yeah, so...
which my whole paycheck goes to natural grocers, by the way.
Well, that's what we're trying to help you with our new company about. Save money on healthy products. So kind of going back to, so the why of the real estate, it happened because I was a lawyer and I ended up getting my real estate broker's license, and I thought it would be a great idea to be able to take the MLS at the time, which was not accessible to the public, and make it public for people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I thought, well, maybe we could incorporate rentals and for sale by owners. So it was called Interactive Properties. So initially it was called FSBOs because it was based on for sale by owners. And then we added, oh, why don't we put the broker listings on that? Oh, why don't we put rentals on that? So that's why it became Interactive Properties.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then what was that? What was after that? What was the transition? And in this time,
it was the same time,
were you still...
Interactive Properties and Natural Interactions were aha moments around the same time.
Were you practicing law at this time?
I was practicing law on the side. Yeah.
Was this the same law firm you're with today? You're a partner with these guys right now? Or
No. And I'm really not truly practicing law. I'm really 100% my company. But I mean, I do a little bit of stuff on the side, but until I make enough money with the company that I could get paid a salary.
Yeah.
So no, that was with my former husband, and I just had a lot of companies that came to me and said, would you want to do this? Would you like to do this? And I would say yes, and yes, and yes. So, but kind of a long story short, I don't know if you really want to go into this, but Natural Interactions, we raised some family and friends money. We had raised about $250,000, and we were raising $5.8 million through a group out of California. And we had our CFO called us up one day and said, hey, can you turn on CNN? And we saw the funder being hauled off to jail. His name is Bill Holliday with First Federal Funding.
Wow.
And we're like, okay, so what are we going to do? So I actually went back to the founders at Wild Oats, tried to renegotiate our contract with them, and they wouldn't renegotiate. And there was this 1 week window where they could terminate our contract, and they did. And so we were not experienced enough entrepreneurs at that time, founders, where we could take our assets, these 10 systems, 8 or 10 systems that we had in these stores, and then refurbish them for stores that were interested in signing up. So we had been talking to GNC and Boney's and Whole Foods. Kroger flew to meet us. So there were a bunch of stores. We talked to Safeway. So there were a whole bunch of stores that we were looking at putting our touchscreen kiosk systems in, and we just couldn't recover. We just didn't have enough experience.
And why don't we have those now? Like, I still today think that's a good idea, because I'm in the natural food store all the time. Like, what the hell is this? Or like, what, give me some more information on what this use is for, whatever.
Yeah, well, now we have handheld kiosks,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So that's what my company is.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay.
So kind of fast forward. So I sat on a steering committee for business for social responsibility when I was heading up Natural Interactions. And one of the lawyers that sat on that committee with me asked me if I would like to go in-house with a company. And I said, well, yeah, that would be a good idea at this point. So that was my first in-house kind of foray. So I went from one in-house position as a lawyer to another until I got to be a general counsel for a company actually out of Australia. I was the general counsel for the North American region. And during that time, I started exploring, I felt like I really wasn't making a difference. I was helping these software companies grow. I thought I was doing a great job for my client, meaning that was the company, right? And helping them solve legal issues, minimize risk, moving the company forward, helping grow them. And I just became very, I don't want to say disenchanted, but I just felt like I wasn't, as I said, making the world a better place. And so
you're an entrepreneur, like it's the purebred entrepreneur thing.
You know,
working for other people or on someone else's mission.
It was somebody else's mission.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I could have aligned myself with a company that I was working for, with my mission, my vision, their vision, I bought into other people's visions and missions, but I felt like I wasn't, feeding the homeless or, providing services to children or helping domestic violence victims. I felt like I really wasn't making a difference. And I think that everybody should try to do their part in this world. That's just me. But, you're doing your part here, right? Trying to get us in front
Slowly but surely.
Yes, exactly. Talking to people that have mentored people over years. So,
yeah.
So I started going to, I guess you could say, meetups. I don't know if they were called meetups at the time, but new tech meetups.
And this is all in Colorado.
It's all in Colorado.
Yeah,
I started going
Boulder.
in only Boulder because Boulder was where the new tech meetups started.
Yeah.
The Boulder new tech meetup started.
So and about what time was this?
I would say 97. Oh gosh, no, excuse me. 2008, 2009, 2000.
Those are scary years to be doing this stuff.
Yeah, time frame, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, 2011. Yeah, so it was a while ago. I started looking at that.
Shaking the camera.
Oh,
no, that was me.
Oh,
I'm bumping the table and everything.
Got it. So I started exploring, what else, could I do? And so I don't know, so basically what it boiled down to is that I felt like I could do something and I didn't know what it was. And I was asked to teach at CU Boulder around that same time, a little bit later, right? 2010-ish time frame, 2011 time frame. And I was listening to one of my colleagues talk about exchanging textbooks with a mobile device. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take natural interactions. I'm going to bring it into the 21st century. Everybody's got a handheld kiosk, right? And so they'll be able to navigate themselves through the natural products marketplace. They'll be able to find products that meet either their lifestyle needs or dietary preferences, or vice versa, right? Dietary needs and lifestyle preferences. So if you're celiac, right? So where can I find the gluten-free products? And, okay, so I found them, and they're expensive. Going back to the Whole Foods.
Oh, yeah.
Whole Foods
Track. I know. And I'm totally gluten-free, for 8 years now.
Wow.
Completely. Yeah.
Wow.
Not by choice, though.
You have celiac.
And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It makes you sick.
Yeah. Although the fad thing is a positive, and what's really cool actually is Natural Grocers just opened up in Rhino. If you know about that one.
Yes, I did. Yes, I saw
it's massive.
It's huge.
And they put a liquor store in there too. And so
really?
they have every gluten-free beer you can think of, all the ciders, all these crazy wines. So
that's great.
I'm set.
You are so set. You're totally set.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that that was kind of the turning point. And it was 2011 that I had that aha moment. And I just felt like, maybe I can do this. Maybe this is a great idea. But I took baby steps. I was at the university. I was teaching, so I had access to their library.
Yeah.
They're big.
Database.
Yeah,
you could get all that
So
stuff.
I did a bunch of research on potential competition. Is anybody else doing this in the marketplace?
Now, what years were you teaching again? And what were the courses at that time?
So it was principles. Let's see, principles. Of course, you would ask. So principles
or
of business.
general.
Yeah, it was principles of business for entrepreneurship.
This was all business degrees you were working.
No,
on.
it wasn't. So it was undergrads that were not business majors.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So as I was coming out of the program and Makeena was heating up, the company was heating up, they did create a business minor over at CU. And so they phased sort of that program out. They tried to incorporate it into that. And then they built into an MBA program a lot of the programs that they had in this entrepreneurship program. So it was a cross-campus program. So kids from, students from English and music and, the different sciences could all take these classes.
Interesting.
So,
Do you feel that was difficult because they weren't really so much a business-oriented type student?
No. I think that it was great because
And I'm sure you're a great professor. You're an engaging lady, so...
thank you very
yes.
much. I'm definitely enthusiastic about, helping people reach their potential.
Yeah.
And opening up their eyes to what they may want to do. And so I think that this class, the Principles of Business for Entrepreneurship is what it was called, gave the students, a tool to try to use. And I think some of those students have actually started their own thing, which is great.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and what I really love about you were teaching at that time is you were living that. You were living entrepreneurship. You had Makeena going, firing up in the background, and so a lot of that was my major pain going through college is 90% of all professors there aren't practitioners.
Yeah. Well, I think
anymore, or even were for a very limited amount of time or in an irrelevant type space.
Yeah. No, I agree, and that's probably why I got hired.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the 2 startup companies when I first moved to Boulder, 94 through 98 time frame. And, of course, I've been practicing a little bit law on the side. And then I had a lot of experience being in-house counsel for a number of different companies. And I think that combined with, of course, my early, 2 companies and the fact that I was a woman, and I was a lawyer and a CPA.
Now, hold on. What do you mean the fact that I was a woman? What do you mean by that?
I think that they didn't have... So I know that there were maybe 2 people that were women that were teaching sort of in this cross-campus program, but they were part of the full faculty, and they were academics. And I'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the practical experience.
Right.
And I think that it was good for the students to see here was a woman who had tried to start, I wouldn't say that the companies were failures, but I think, we had lots of successes with them. We just didn't sell them for money, right? We had to liquidate one because of the guy that I told you about.
Yeah.
The one that we found out that we kind of got scammed by.
And we talked about this before with another guest is and me personally, the failures are sometimes the best learning experiences compared to that actually achieving some sort of success.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to achieve really great success, but yeah, I do believe.
And somehow I feel you will.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
No, I feel like those failures were really great for us.
Yeah.
And for me. Yeah, personally.
Great.
Had I... Yeah, and you hear about that stuff all the time where, the Google guys were out trying to raise money for... And they talked to, I don't know how many people, but hundreds and hundreds of people before they got investment.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, it's not easy founding a company, period. So to go back to the university environment, I think that is one of the reasons why they hired me, is because I had some experience. I guess you could say at that point I had already been a serial founder, but I think that now definitely with Makeena I'm truly a serial founder, although not sequentially.
Yeah.
Right?
So what is Makeena? Tell us about the company, why you founded it. What is Makeena?
So the vision that I have for Makeena is similar to Natural Interactions. So we are all about making healthy products affordable to everyone anywhere they need to shop, period. So if you are in a food desert and you have a choice between a Snickers bar and a Kind bar because maybe the only store you have is a Mercado, then hopefully Makeena will encourage you to buy that Kind bar as opposed to the Snickers bar. Or if you are maybe in Eastern Colorado and you really don't know where to find gluten-free products, right? We will help you figure out what stores to buy decent products in. And our new, I would say our new app itself actually will help people figure out whether or not people love products, because there's a space in the app for testimonials and actually likes of various products.
Right. Now, do those testimonials match up with
the product?
The product testimonials, the company's providing you with those testimonials?
No, they don't provide
your users.
Our users are actually leaving those testimonials.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So somebody will be able to go and find gluten-free products in Eastern Colorado at stores within their radius, right? And be able to kind of see what others think of that product quickly, right? They don't have to go searching through the whole internet. So that's kind of what Makeena is vision-wise. But we're trying to engage the consumer with all sorts of different actions with the brands. So they'll watch a video. They'll read about the brand's mission, right? They'll share with them on Facebook. They'll post a picture of them eating the product on Instagram. So what we're trying to do, again, is to create a better consumer. And we think that if people buy better, they're going to be healthier, right? There's going to be less illness. So if you went out and you ate gluten products at this point, you'd be super sick. Right. So we're trying to help people manage that. And
how does the cost saving dynamic come in? And so just to kind of understand the app itself, you can download the app
for free.
It's a free app.
Right.
I can go and I can locate all the nearest places I can purchase natural, or would I actually search in like I want gluten-free products? It would show me everywhere nearby that has gluten-free products.
So the version that hopefully is coming out next week, you will be able to go in there and discover products. You'll just be able to scroll and discover new products.
Is there an algorithm like based on Bing? You'll like Bing? Or
yes, exactly.
You're already working on
stuff. AI, a little bit of AI.
Yeah.
It'll be a little bit of augmented reality eventually, and a little bit of virtual reality eventually. It's built into our product roadmap.
Like Pokemon Go, but for natural food products.
You got it. And we have a little Makeena thing already, put together.
Yeah.
So in our Kickstarter, we had a successful Kickstarter campaign.
Cool.
And we developed what the Makeena looks like. It's to really help families shop for good products.
Yeah. And what were your monetary goals for that initial kickoff?
It was like 20,000, and we hit 20,000. It was just to try to move us to the next step. It was also a product validator, right? Just to make sure that people really wanted this. And I think we had about 169 people that actually contributed to the Kickstarter campaign, which is great.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard for apps to actually hit goals on Kickstarter. So I felt very fortunate that we
Why? Why is that?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I think most of the time it's a product or a widget that really does really super well on those platforms.
Right.
We were a software/app, so it just but we got a lot of excitement, and we got a lot of great comments, and we got a little bit of press, which was all really good stuff. So a shopper will download the app, right? They'll be able to discover products that they think may be interesting to them. They'll be able to actually select a product from these different brands and then get cash back for buying those products. So they go in the store, they buy the product, they scan the UPC code, and then take a snapshot of the receipt. And once the user gets to $10, they'll be able to get $10 back for buying healthy products. So what we're building into the system, not just for the brands that are doing good things in the world, it's like B Corporation or sustainably sourced or recyclable packaging, is that we're going to be building in, cash back for buying organic fruits, veggies, and whole grains. So really, and it may not always, those products may not always be available for people where they live, right? Middle of LA, maybe not. Middle of New York, maybe not. I mean, New York actually has pretty good food sources, but what we'll try to do is, in communities where there's farmers markets, allow the shopper to actually shop there and also get incentivized for buying and eating healthy.
Interesting.
So we do collect data.
Yeah.
As we do that, and we help these brands, these natural products brands. It's kind of a big category. It's anything good for you, good for your family, good for the planet.
Mm-hmm.
We help them grow their revenue by helping them engage with the consumer anywhere that consumer shops and understanding what the consumer loves or doesn't love about their product.
Interesting. So you're going to the actual brands themselves and promoting, having them on your platform.
Correct.
They're providing the incentives because they're the direct ones being able to control costs and all that stuff.
The content, the incentives, everything.
Are they promoting Makeena for you?
They will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So we made 2 acquisitions of 2 companies this year, which allowed us to create this bigger community. So every single time now that we send out a newsletter, we reach over 11 million people.
Great.
And up to 26 million people a month, kind of uniques. And so when we launched the app, the new app, because we do have an app currently, but it looks very different, the new one.
Yeah.
When we launch the new app, we're going to be using that community to build the user base for that app. So there's referral programs built in, affiliate programs. The more you share, the more you do different actions within the application, the more you get cash back for buying healthy. So it's good for everybody. Good for the brands that really need to grow. And we're hoping that with these brands growing, that we'll be able to kind of push out all the bad brands.
Yeah.
Right?
Interesting thought.
Folks that are not doing...
Well, and you see King Soopers starting to do it, even Walmart, like they are starting to adopt the brands, but
Walmart is the largest organic distributor.
Really?
Yes.
Price is outrageous, though. Like, I literally spend more money than any of my peers probably on food because I'm super obsessed with my health.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the biggest drivers of my own success in my life. I don't think a lot of people recognize that.
Right.
I think you recognize that, yeah.
I do.
And so like it's just like it's expensive for someone who's young and wants to eat well. They're a college student. Mm-hmm. This is the go-to way for them to be able to accomplish that.
Yeah. I think Makeena's going to be big.
Yeah,
really big. I think it's going to be when I got asked this the other day by the folks over at Galvanize. So we office out at Galvanize, which is
Galvanize in Boulder.
In Boulder,
okay,
they
cool.
have the 2 here, as you know, right?
Do you come down to these ones ever?
Occasionally, I do.
Yeah, you have to come say hi. I mean, I'm right up in Rhino, but I pop around Galvanize from time to time.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so I love it. So we got asked by the Galvanize folks, like, where do you see your company the next year? And I said, well, I see Makeena becoming a household name. So when people think about shopping healthy for an affordable price where they need to shop, it can be in-store or online, they think Makeena. So we've basically curated these good for you, good for your family, good for the planet products. So it could be a pet product, it could be a supplement, it could be a beauty product, it could be a household product, but anything that falls within those parameters. And, you can think Whole Foods, but shopping for that product anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Or you can think, Natural Grocers is a great example. They do a really great job at curating the products that they have in their store. So when you think about those 2 stores and you think about buying those products in other places, Makeena wants you to buy those products. So if you go to Target or Walmart or Piggly Wiggly or Ralph's or Safeway or Publix. It doesn't matter. Or 7-Eleven, right? So that's, I've done a lot of road traveling.
Do we have a Piggly Wiggly?
I don't know. I think there are Piggly Wigglies down
was laughing
south,
back there.
right?
I'm like, wait, Piggly
right?
Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly. I do think we have Piggly Wigglies. Down south there are, right?
Is it like a King Soopers or something?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Right.
I don't know.
We'll just go with
well,
it.
Ralph's,
Okay.
Ralph's, Publix. Publix is a great example, right?
We'll go with Publix.
That's a big East Coaster,
Yeah.
right? So when you are faced with all these choices between maybe a Wonder Bread and maybe a Dave's bread or Ezekiel bread, that we are hoping to level that playing field so that Ezekiel, which is better for you and doing better things for our planet, is the same price as Wonder Bread. It'd be pretty amazing to get it down to that price.
Is the reason there's these whole food products are so expensive, is it because they're not as mass consumed as the other products?
Yes, and so if we can get these natural products brands to become bigger, with the economies of scale,
right,
we will be able to drive down the prices of those products, and Makeena will have accomplished a lot of their goals, right?
Have you had RX bars?
I love them.
I am obsessed with RX bars.
I love them.
But they're so damn expensive.
Well, I found them on sale not too long ago. So
can I go to Makeena and get RX bars?
So they're not on there yet, but you can tell them that they should
give them a hot. Yeah, we'll have to. We can maybe work on that one together.
Like 5 ingredients, right?
Yeah, they're
cashews,
awesome.
Dates. I think the one that I buy
nuts and eggs.
Yeah, nuts
That's
and eggs, and then mine has coffee and chocolate in it.
Those ones are good. Yeah, they have the chocolate chip ones.
Oh, I don't have that. I don't have
brownie.
Oh, really?
I'm obsessed with those things.
They're really good, aren't they?
You eat them everywhere.
I think I have one in my backpack.
Oh, perfect. We could just bust one out and snack on that afterwards.
Exactly.
So why Makeena? Like, what does Makeena represent as a name? Or I'm sorry, what does Makeena mean?
Well, what does it mean? Yeah. Well, Makeena means a couple of things. One, it means happiness in Swahili.
Interesting.
Abundance in Hawaiian, because there's Makeena Beach in Hawaii. Yeah. Right? And I'm probably botching the name as to how Hawaiians say it, but we call it Makeena, right? And it also means...
people are calling you Karen all the time.
I know. But it also means machine in Arabic.
Huh.
So we're a happy, abundant machine. And it kind of fits.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And
I could dig it.
The other thing with Makeena is that we felt like we could personalize it.
Yeah.
Right? So we do have this blue figure that's called a Makeena that is going to help us find healthy products anywhere we want to shop, right?
That's great. What's the next thing for you? What kind of resources are you looking for right now?
So we're raising money. So that's first, sort of.
What are you raising right now?
We're raising $1 million round.
Okay.
We do have we have some hard commitments, which means that people have committed to investing. We're looking for a lead. Seems like everybody's just coming out of vacation mode. So just this last week, it's been amazing. I got an email from a very well-known local investor in Denver, Boulder area. He is coming back from EMEA and India, and he's going to sit down with me the last week of August and do a deeper dive.
Is this on GoFundMe?
No. These are all
private investments that you're taking?
This particular person is an angel investor. And we're getting angel investments, basically.
Okay, so this round of funding is
angel level. And it's technically a seed round, right? So we did our pre-seed. We're done with that. We're raising $1 million. This is our seed. There's another group that I didn't know that they had put funds together, but they have been following me and Makeena for 3 years.
Wow.
And they reached out to me, I guess this is already Saturday, earlier this week, and are very interested in possibly leading the round, so $200,000 to $400,000. And so I'm going to have more and more conversations, obviously, with them. But they invest in people, they said, and they're investing in companies in the Rocky Mountain region. And then a very well-known VC slash fund out of Palo Alto contacted me this week as well. So it's kind of like people are starting to truly come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
But, it's hard. It's hard being a founder because you have to balance, raising money or just enough to get to the next level for your company, but also start generating revenue, making sure you have a solid product and a great team, right?
Great, and that's a good point. Great team. We're going to have a lot of millennials listening to this, and also, other peers and people in the professional world. Who are you looking for your team, and how can they find you?
Well, good questions. So I just have a brand new CFO that's coming on my team. She was trained as a CPA with KPMG and Ernst & Young, I guess, at the time, and worked for Microsoft for 14 years, and then became a CFO for a nonprofit and then a startup, and has been doing a little bit of consulting work. And I met her at a Woman Investor Forum, and she became interested in Makeena and the story, and now she wants to work for Makeena. She's going to actually invest real money in the company. She's going to take a real stake, so she's got skin in the game, and she's going to be our CFO and help me with operations.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to do. I have another person that's coming on the team. His deal's not done yet, but he was a senior vice president at Nielsen, and he's wicked smart. Again, local to the Boulder, Denver area. It's great to have people like close by, quite frankly. I mean, you can have a dispersed team, but I think it's really harder. And I struggled with that. I mean, we went through 2 accelerator programs. We went through Telluride Venture Accelerator, and we went through Prosper Women Entrepreneur Startup Accelerator, it's a mouthful, in St. Louis. And, talked to lots of people about, investors don't like to see sole founders. Sole founders can make it happen, but it's really hard when you don't have somebody that has skin in the game and works just as hard as you do, because you're then the founder surrounded by a lot of contractors, basically.
Yeah, so you're putting the A team together to.
I'm trying to put my A team together.
Yeah,
I have a tech co-founder, and he's great. And I have actually, as I said, I acquired 2 other, not companies, but assets from other companies that helped us build our community, building better code, better scaling. And we've had 4 people from those 2 companies come over and are working with Makeena. So I think we have now what it takes to go to the next level and become super successful. We've already had some inquiries from really large companies about so what are you guys doing over there? And that's part of their job, their business development, job is to get to know other companies so that, eventually maybe Nielsen would be interested in buying us, or maybe Amazon would be interested in buying us, or Google, because we're doing.
Hey, Jeff Bezos, you're listening in on this?
Exactly. This is the new hot thing.
Yeah.
So we have.
You already took Whole Foods.
The deal's not done yet.
Oh, really?
Right? I don't think so. I think it's still being, decided by the government whether or not they can go forward with the acquisition. But so I think it's really up Amazon's alley, quite frankly, or Google, because Google's doing a lot of interesting things with customer insights and shopping habits, shopping behaviors, and whatnot. I find that, one of the byproducts of Makeena, and I kind of call it a byproduct, but it's really what the investors are most interested in, because they think that that's how Makeena is really going to make money, right? I have this vision about helping people make healthy choices wherever they need to shop, right, for an affordable price. And then my mission, of course, is about growing these healthy brands, right, and reducing their marketing expense. But a byproduct of that is this data.
Yeah.
And so when we talk to investors, we talk
that
about...
data's incredibly valuable.
It's hugely valuable. But, when we talk to investors, we talk about the fact that we are truly kind of a data mining company. So what brands do is they pay us to engage shoppers with these cashback offers, loyalty rewards, and coupons anywhere they shop, right? We then collect that data, and then we sell it back. We sell it to the brand, we sell it to the retailer, we sell it to healthcare providers, we could sell it to insurance companies, research institutions, governmental agencies, to help create health and wellness of their communities and figure out how to make people healthier in the long run. Maybe we can eradicate a lot of the cancers we have by just the types of things we put on our body or in our body or are exposed to or leave in the earth, right? So I'm hoping that Makeena does make a difference.
And I hope it does too. And I'm very excited to see what the future holds for you. And I really appreciate you coming on today. How can people find you? What's the best way to reach you if you interested them today?
So you can send me an email.
Cool.
And as you know, I do answer my emails.
Yeah.
Out of the blue. You can try to find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Tell me why you're interested in talking to me. But my email address is just Karen, Karen, .frame@makeena.com. You can always send it to info if you can't remember how to do it, info@makeena.com. But, there's links on our website. By the way, our website, it's going to look a lot different really soon. But we still have our very first website up. So, but in the right corner, you can certainly click on, contact us. So
great.
We'll eventually get it. And would love to talk to people about what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Yeah, well, great. Well, thank you so much. That's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. Be sure to go follow, give us a follow, Mile High Mentors on SoundCloud at Mile High Mentors Podcast, as well as Instagram, Mile High Mentors. Karen, thanks again.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
We'll chat with you guys next time.
Yeah, thanks.